the nested stack is going to work. In the scenario of the nested stack, so we can define our individual stacks. And here in the scenario, I've created one more nested stack, and this time in a YAML format, and we've been able to implement it without any issues. So with this, we complete the hands-on activity on AWS EC2 CloudFormation nested stack. Next, the next hands-on is about how we can update the CloudFormation stack by creating a change set. All these activities that we are seeing, especially from CloudFormation, because as a DevOps engineer, this is what you will be doing in most of the scenarios. So you'll be either creating the required resources, and sometimes you'll also be working closely with the business and understand the overall architecture requirement. And it's very important that you get yourself familiarized with and understand and look at the various scenarios that we have when it comes to CloudFormation. Now, here in this scenario of this, like here in this scenario, so let's go ahead and perform this activity of updating the CloudFormation stack by creating the change set. I've came back to my AWS console. Now here, to get started, okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to copy my S3 object URL of the sample template so that I can create a CloudFormation stack. So I'll go to my S3 bucket. So this time I have a different S3 bucket. And from this S3 bucket, I have a EC2 instance input template. Okay, so this is the template that I have right now. Now I'm going to copy this S3 object URL. This is my S3 object URL. And along with this, I'll also keep a download of this file. Okay, and I'll share this template with you post the session team. Now, this is the EC2 instance template. Okay, now if I open this EC2 instance template, just have a look at it and see how it would look like. So this is a very simple EC2 instance template. Okay, it is defined in a JSON format. So it is just going to initialize my EC2 instance. Next, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start my CloudFormation. So once I start my CloudFormation, it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to say create stack. Template is ready. S3 object URL. So I'll copy this URL. Okay, I'll click on the next button. Next here, I can specify the stack name. I'm going to mention my stack name. I'll call it as stack1. Okay. Now we've got the parameters that has been pre-filled from the file that we have just uploaded. So the instance type is t2.micro. The SSH location is 0.0.0.0. I'll click on the next button. Now here I'm going to specify the tag. I'm going to say name stack1. Okay, I'll keep the default values as it is and I'll click on the next button. And then I'm going to come down and I'll say create stack. Okay, now let's wait for the stack to get completed. So stack1 instance security group is getting created and security group has been created. And in parallel, my EC2 instance is being initialized. Once I open this EC2 instance, so currently we can see that my EC2 instance is getting initialized from my CloudFormation stack1. Okay, so this is how we can see that, okay, it's working. Now let's refresh it and let's see if it is yes. We have got the confirmation that this stack1 is complete. Now, what we are going to do right now is we are going to update the template and we are going to deploy the changes. And this activity, we call it as creating the change set from the CloudFormation stack. Now, I'll click on the stacks again. Now, this is the stack that we have opened. Okay. Now, I'm going to choose that stacks and I'll say here, let's look at some of the scenarios. Okay. Next, what I'll do is change it's we've got an option that says create change set for the current stack. Okay, this is the option that I'm going to choose right now. Now this time, okay, for the step one, we have the three option: current template, replace current template, and edit template in designer. Now I'm going to select the option that says edit template in designer. Now after that, I'm going to click on this button which says view in designer. Once the editor opens, okay, so like we can see the automatic generation of the diagram. So what I'm going to do over here is, here it says my default template language is JSON. So if it is selected as YAML, you may not get this, guys, but yeah, you can select it to JSON or YAML, whichever you prefer to. So this is the diagram, and you can visually see how it would look like. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'll just come below, and currently it is mentioned as T2.micro. Now I'm going to change it to T2.medium. I'll change it to T2.medium. Next, after that, I'll just come below, and here I'm going to change my variable name. I'll just change my variable name. Currently, it is mentioned as SSH location light. So I'll change it to HTTP location. I'll just change it to HTTP location. And after I change it to HTTP location, instead of SSH, I'm going to modify it to HTTP. And I'll keep the values as it is. Okay. And here for the mappings, I'm not going to do any changes. For part 4, if I come down, we've got resources. So I'm not going to change anything for my EC2 instances, okay, because I'm using the mapping as a field. And here, if I come further down, okay, so we've got the group description. Let's see where we have. Yeah, we've got the group description here. It says enable SSH access. So I'm going to say enable HTTP access via port 80. I'm just going to modify this description. Okay, next, I'll just come down and let's see. And here it should be actually HTTP location. Okay, this is a TCP, and instead of 22, it should be 80 actually. This is how it will be. And for the output, I'm going to say public IP address of the newly created EC2 instance. I'll keep it as it is. This is my public IP. I'm going to change it to private IP. I'm just doing some random changes, guys. I'm just doing some random changes. So this is to show you how we can update the existing templates and ensure that it is available to us. Next, once this is done, I'm going to click this button which says validate the template. So this will just validate the template and let us know if there are any issues. Okay. So it says template is valid. I've got the confirmation. Just observe, see, it says template is valid. Now I'll click on refresh. Even the design has been refreshed. Now this is perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and I can download this as an image. I can do this as well. Okay. Now here, I'll go over here and I'll click on the save button. Now here for the save button, we have the two options. One, whether I want to store it as a local file or whether I want to store it in directly into my Amazon S3 bucket. So I'll select my Amazon S3 bucket. I'm going to rename the template to my stack2. This is the name that I'm going to specify. I'll click on the save button and this will be saved to my S3 bucket, guys. So here it has mentioned my object URL, that is my S3 bucket URL. I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here, and I'm going to press OK to close this pop-up window. Next, I'm going to create the stack, guys. In order to create the stack, there's a button that says create stack. I can click this button and this is going to initialize the creation of the stack. So this will redirect me back into this specified template page. Now here, I can specify my Amazon S3 URL, and currently it has been pre-filled automatically. So in case if it's not pre-filled, you will have to paste the link which you have got. Okay, I think this is a different one. So I'll copy the one which is relevant for us. Okay, I have pasted the one which is as per our requirement. I'll click on the next button, my HTTP location, and here I can mention everything. So let's do one thing. So I'm going to go to my S3. Okay, I'll go to my S3. Let's validate again. Okay, so I'm just validating it, guys. So this is to ensure that we are getting and we are referring the same and the right template. All right, I'll just go ahead and show it to you. And let's look into the designer again. Let's validate it. Okay, now let me go ahead and save it. And I'll save it as a local file as well. This is for my reference. Next, I'll create a stack. Now, here I'll upload a file. I'll upload this template one which I've downloaded it. So this is another way that we can load the source, guys. Okay. And here we can select the instance type. I'll select my instance type this time as t2.medium. I'll select my instance type as t2.medium. For the stack name, I'll mention it as stack2. Okay. I can mention it as stack2, or I can keep the same options as well, guys. I'll keep the same values as well. I'll just come back. I'll just click on the next button and I'll click on this create change set. Okay. So here it says the change set is a preview of how this configured. Okay. This allows you to examine the various configuration before executing the change set, which means whatever the change set that we are creating, that change set is a preview of how the stack will be configured. I'm going to say my stack one change set. This is how, this is what I'm going to create right now. And then I'm going to say create change set. Once this is done, currently it says create in progress. Now, once we'll keep on refreshing it. So now we'll get the status that says as create complete. Now here, what we have right now here is, so we've got the AWS EC2 instance, the replacement is true. And we've got the instance EC2 instance group, the replacement is true. That means the action that we have right now, the action is modify. That means it is going to modify my existing EC2 instances. and it will be replaced. Okay, so this will be replaced. Now, in order to do this activity, okay, we have to execute the change set. So here I'm going to say execute. Now we've got the pop-up here. It says, do you want to execute the change set? If any error happens, what should be its behavior on provisioning failure? So whether we have to roll back all the stack resources or whether we have to preserve the successfully provisioned resources. I'll select the first option and I'll click this button to execute my change set. Okay, now the update is in progress. So the update of my stack 1 is in progress right now. Let's wait. Now it says resource creation has been initiated. Let's wait for it, guys. And in parallel, I'll launch my EC2 instance.